Hey everybody, welcome to Two Buds Movie Reviews. I'm Sam.
What-
I mean,
and I'm Tyler,
I'm Tyler.
and I'm Sam. Just to clear it up, I'm Sam, and the other guy's
And I'm
Tyler.
Tyler, and we're two buds, and
And
we're
we're
gonna
gonna review.
review some movies.
Well, we're just gonna review the one movie on this one.
That's
The
right.
whole thing will be reviewing movies, but this one is just movie. And so today we're gonna be reviewing the Netflix original film known as The Midnight Sky, or as we like to call it, George Clooney with a beard.
George Clooney with a beard in the snow.
That is the unofficial title amongst me and Tyler. So George Clooney with a beard, or otherwise known as the Midnight Sky. Um,
George Clooney with a beard in the snow.
so obviously George Clooney is in it. He's also the director, which I think is
He is the director.
which is notable. So he told himself to grow a beard, and then he grew one. So the stars are George Clooney, Felicity Jones, David Oyelowo. Oh, I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about mispronouncing that. Oh, David Oy oh, Oyelowo. I'm sorry. And then Kaylin Springall, Kyle Chandler, Damian Bichar. I'm sorry, whatever. Tiffany Boone,
Bitch R.
Sophie Rundle, Ethan Peck, blah 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 blah. And then yeah, I'm not gonna do everybody because it was really just George Clooney and Felicity Jones, and then David Oyelowo, and yeah, those were like the main three people. Oh, and then also Kaylin Springall was the young Felicity Jones. Um, so yeah, and also I think we should mention that it's based off of a book that was written by Lily Brooks Dalton, and the screenplay was written by Mark L. Smith.
Okay,
Yep. So Lily Brooks Dalton,
go over the plot.
she's an American writer, and yeah, she actually went to Portland State University, which I think is kind of cool. I used to live in Portland. All right, now we're gonna go over the plot. That was the who was in it, who directed it. Yeah. So for the first 15 minutes, we're gonna do our best not to spoil anything. And then after those 15 minutes, we're going to do another 15 minutes where we are going to spoil everything. And then,
Yeah,
and then we're going to rate it. Then we're going to say goodbye.
yeah.
All right. So do you want to explain the basic premise?
I mean, I can start it, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll go back and
since
forth.
you chose the movie, it's mostly you. So it starts out George Clooney with a beard. He's like a functioning scientific alcoholic in like the Arctic.
Yep, yep. Like yeah, like the North Pole, like
The
close to the
North
North
Pole.
Pole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he's trying to communicate with this. He communicates with with space expeditions basically, and he's trying to communicate with this one called Ether or Aether or whatever, and he
yeah.
can't.
I think it's Ether, and also like this isn't a spoiler because it's literally in the description of the movie, but um, humanity has been like all but wiped out by some unknown like global catastrophe, and so
Right.
George Clooney with a beard is trying to tell the people aboard Aether that they shouldn't return to Earth because Earth is fucked, and like there's no way that they could land, there's no way that they could get out without dying. Um, it's also he's in the Arctic, and like this global catastrophe is not spread to the Arctic, but it's coming. And this is also within like the first 10 minutes. So he has a terminal illness, and so he needs to have his blood. What's it called?
I
What
don't
is that
know. He
called?
has to have some sort
Yeah,
of
he has
blood
to he has
thing.
to have a blood transfusion every day to like clear the toxins. I think he has like a kidney problem or something. Like his kidney isn't filtering shit out of his body, and so he hooks one IV into this arm, and then it goes up and then into a machine, and then it goes back down and then into the other arm with clean blood, and he has to do that every day, um, or he'll die.
And he's super melancholy for no reason.
I think that no, dude. Okay, you said this, and I refrained from like clapping back at you because I wanted to do it on here. He's melancholy for a lot of very good reasons.
Okay.
First of all, everybody's dead, and the people that aren't dead are like stuck underground. He like, and it's slowly revealed that he's kind of like not lived a full life in the pursuit of his career. He's just like kind of said fuck it to like anything else in life other than his work. And
Yep.
that's why he's sad. He regrets not like living it up while he could. And now he's stuck alone.
With his whiskey.
Yeah, I thought it was like a I thought it was like it was clear that George Clooney wrote this. Like he was like, okay, I'm gonna be drinking whiskey while I'm getting this blood transfusion. Like that's not how it works, you know? Like I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
starts out like the first like 10 minutes is him like carrying around a bottle of whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
and he's all like pissed off in his Arctic
He's just
home.
sad. Yeah, he's sad. He's all alone, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
sad. Dude, what do you mean he has no reason to be melancholy?
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like when I was watching it, this is my impression, is that like I know he has reason to be sad, but like it
Mm-hmm.
just seems so like I'm George Clooney and I'm sad and I'm and I'm in
I'm George Clooney with a beard, and I'm sad. Yeah, I mean,
the
yes, yeah,
Anyways, and that was like the whole movie for me. So keep going.
for sure that was the whole movie. It got a little old after a while.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we're approaching like if I think that if you really want to watch this movie without having like our words circulating around your head, you should go watch it now.
Yeah, go watch it
But
now.
you don't really have to.
No,
Like
you don't really have to.
it's pretty good. It's also like it's beautifully shot. It's amazing, especially like aboard the ship. Like it's fucking crazy what they can do with CGI.
It is
Yeah.
beautifully shot and the movie itself in a whole looks really good,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would say. Yeah, it
Um,
looks really good.
yeah. So let's just go chronologically or do our best to. So it's George Clooney with a
Are we
beard.
spoiling now or no?
Yeah, we're spoil. I mean, like we kind of have to. Like as we
Okay,
move
we're
forward, it's
spoiling now. We're spoiling.
so he's up in the Arctic. He's pretty close to the North Pole. He's like very, very northern Canada. He's all alone, or he thinks he's all alone. And one night, the kitchen catches on fire. Right. Well, actually, he finds a bowl of cereal, and he didn't think he'd eaten it, but it seemed like he's just going crazy, and like he ate the bowl of cereal and then forgot, and then he was eating another one, and then that same day it seems like the kitchen catches on fire, and so he goes into the kitchen, he puts it out with a futuristic fire extinguisher, and then he's like out of breath because he's terminally ill, and he like sits down on the floor, and he's breathing really heavy, and then he looks up, and there's this little girl under the counter, and
And he's like,
she's
"Oh
just
shit, there's a little girl there."
and he's so surprised because he's been alone for it seems like months and months, even maybe a year. It doesn't you can't really tell.
Maybe
Um,
longer. We don't know.
yeah, maybe longer. We really don't know. Um, yeah, so it's like 2049 at this point, and
Yeah.
everybody. It seems like everybody's dead. Like it seems like he's the only one out there. He's trying to communicate with people. Nobody's responding. It's also revealed aboard the ship, the Aether, that when they're flying back to Earth, they're trying to communicate with like anybody from Earth or any other space missions, and they can't like nobody's responding, and so they think there's something wrong on their end on the Ether.
So
So back to
the ether is they are trying to find new habitable planets. Essentially,
yes,
we didn't go over. They're trying to find new habitable planets for human life to live.
yeah, and Ether went to like a previously undiscovered moon of Jupiter that can support human life, and so the Ether is returning from that expedition, and it's revealed that that moon can support human life. It's very possible. Like they answered all the questions. It can support human life. It does have an atmosphere. They can grow food there or whatever. And so back to George Clooney with a beard, and now this little girl.
George Clooney with a
So
beard.
so she can't talk, but she draws a flower known as the iris, and that's how we figure out her name. Um, and like he's just kind of living with her for a little while, and he's like I can't take care of you, and then eventually he's like, okay, I'll take care of you. He kind of goes back and forth. uh yeah.
Yeah,
And
and then
then
they're looking. Basically, he gets her, and then they go out in the Arctic to find a better, like a place
okay, so
where they
yeah.
can connect with the people in space.
Yeah, so the satellite at where he's living with the little girl at the very beginning, like the satellite, not the satellite, like the dish or whatever that like communicates with the ether, it doesn't have enough range to communicate with it, and so they have to travel like a pretty long way to another like communication hub in the Arctic,
Right.
because that place has a better satellite. And so they hop on they hop on, what is that, the
But
snow
they go on
snow
a snowmobile
a
and shit.
snowmobile.
Yeah.
Yep. Um, and so he's trying to warn Ether, like, you don't come back, turn around, right? He's like, don't come back, turn around. And also, like, throughout all this, he's having these flashbacks of his previous love interest, who
Oh,
he kind of neglected and treated like shit, to be honest. And
I
then
didn't even realize till the end of the movie because I was really out of it when I was watching it, and
you
I was
didn't realize that was him. Okay,
no,
that's okay. Whatever.
no,
And
I
then,
didn't. I
that
didn't
was like the
realize.
whole
I didn't
premise. That was
realize
like
that. I didn't realize that it was him and
the
his.
whole premise. But
I
okay.
know. I didn't realize that until the end of the movie. I
You
was
just thought it was a random person and a random blonde lady. Okay,
like,
that's probably why you didn't enjoy it. So okay,
"Yep."
like in these flashbacks, it's revealed his name is Augustine, and it's revealed that Augustine uh like may have gotten his love interest pregnant, and he didn't want a baby because he was working too hard, and so she's like, you're in luck, I'm not actually pregnant, now I'm gonna leave because you're an asshole, and then she leaves. And then he's still working, and like in another flashback, it's made clear that he's the one that's like spearheaded this search for a new world. He's the one that was like, we need to find a new world, and this is the world. It's this moon of Jupiter. He's the guy that was like, we're sending people out there. He's the scientist who developed the spaceships and like the uh habitable zones. So yeah, and so back to George Clooney with a beard on a snowmobile with this little girl. So he's making his way up to this. I think it's like Lake Heron or something is where he's headed. And so they stop one night in this pod thing that was left by the previous expedition. And
Right.
it turns out that the pod was on a frozen lake, and then while they're sleeping, it sinks, and he barely gets out
And
alive.
he yeah, he's suffering from like blackouts or something too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure he has kidney failure or something, or
He
liver
had
damage.
something.
And so with him, he brought the blood transfusion thing with him, and he's been doing it throughout his whole expedition in like this weird tent thing that they sleep in at night.
Yeah.
And when the frozen lake like breaks, it takes the snowmobile, and it also takes his blood transfusion. So after he loses that thing, he has like a limited amount of time.
It gets swallowed up in a lake very dramatically. It gets swallowed in the
Yeah,
frozen lake.
that part honestly, he wouldn't have survived. Like if you fall in like
And
like
you
you
know that
can't.
water is like negative 100 degrees. I was
Well,
like,
it has to be it has to be like just above freezing for it
right,
not to be frozen,
right.
right? So it's super cold, like, and especially a terminal illness where he's like putting out fire, he wouldn't be able to survive that. He would have died, like, for sure. That was pretty unrealistic, but it was a cool shot, you know. Like at that point, I was like, okay, like, come on, like, there's no way he would have made it. So eventually they make it to the communication place, and they establish communications with the space expedition known as the Ether. I think it's also notable that on the Ether, one of the crewmates dies when they're trying to. Okay, this is also something I think we should
For
talk
me,
about.
this is my favorite scene.
Yeah,
Straight
it was pretty cool. Like they do like the spacewalk where they like three of the crew members go outside the spaceship, and then they do repairs
They
Um,
do repairs because they got hit by like meteors or something.
asteroids,
Astro,
meteors. Yeah, yeah. Meteors, I think, are if they're in the atmosphere. Asteroids
right?
are if they're in space. In every movie where there's a spacewalk, in every single movie where there's a spacewalk, somebody dies every single time.
Oh, I knew it was gonna happen.
It's such a trope at this point with sci-fi movies that if they're going outside the ship, someone's gonna die. You
Yeah,
know, it's just a given.
and this one was more obvious with who was gonna die. Like I knew it was gonna be
Oh,
a
of
bird.
course. Yeah, yeah, because it was
It
her
was like
first
the new
time.
one. They were like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" Like or whatever. It
Well,
was like,
she was like, "Am I ready?" And they're like, "You're ready. You've trained for this." And she's like, "I don't think I am." And then she
and
was
then
barfing right
yeah,
beforehand.
and then immediately I was like, "Oh, she gonna die."
Yep. And for a minute there, I was like, "Oh, she's gonna make it." But then she gets back inside, and then they open up her space chute, and then I thought that scene was pretty cool with all the blood. Like it was very well done.
Well, I thought the scene. Well, if you're listening to this now, you've probably already seen the movie, but like
I hope you have because we're spoiling everything. But yeah,
we're spoiling everything. But like their spaceship for one, I have several comments about, and
go.
and and then yeah, but I thought the spacewalk outside was super dope. Like the way they do that, that shot, like they're able
Yeah,
to like.
it was super
I,
well done for
I thought
sure.
that was super well done, and then she comes in, the blood splattering everywhere.
Yeah, she got a puncture wound from an asteroid, and like she lost so much blood, and it like there was no gravity when they got back in, so it was just like little beads of blood. It was just
It
it was
looked really cool the way they did it.
yeah. I mean, yeah,
And it was
cool.
really intense, but like
Yeah, cool in a way that's like terrifying and also kind of gross.
however it wasn't as intense as it could have been because like it was like I knew this was gonna happen, you
For
know.
sure.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
definitely. Yeah, I'm with you.
So I didn't really feel for that character very much. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Anyway, so yeah, so one of the crew members of the Ether dies. Ether, whatever. I forget how they say it.
I think it's ether, but it doesn't really matter. It's AER. So one of them dies. Oh, and it's all okay. So like the captain and the communications officer, they are a couple and they're having a baby. The communications officer is a woman and the captain is a man. Um, and they're having a baby. And
Yep, because they've been fucking on the
they've
space.
been they've been fucking in space, dude. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so they're still on their way back to Earth. And once they okay, so now the stories are going to come together. So George Clooney finally makes contact with them, and he makes contact with the communications lady, right? And and he's like, "You guys shouldn't come back," and she's like, "We're here."
Yeah,
And
they're
and
like
then she
on their way back to Earth. Like they're almost there.
yeah, and so he's like, "I suggest that you slingshot around Earth and then go back," which is presumably what they do. That's what they make it seem like. But one of the crew members, actually the pilot. So there's the captain is with the communications officer, but the pilot has a family back home, and he promised his family he would make it back to Earth alive. And so he takes an escape, even though he knows there's no way he's going to even be able to land, let alone get out. He's like, I got to make it back. And so he takes one of the re-entry pods, I think they're called, and he and one of the other crewmates, um, the other crewmate goes back because he wants to deliver the dead body of the woman that died on the spacewalk. He wants to deliver her body back to Earth, right? And so they both go in an escape pod. We both know they're gonna die. It's just like that's just what it is. And
Okay,
then
you're
it's
gonna be mad
revealed.
at me. You're gonna be mad at me, but this is for the podcast. But I
Do it.
clearly missed that part.
What?
That whole part you just described.
What do you mean you missed that part?
I
You
must have
missed that they went.
I
You
must have
missed that they
blacked
went.
out when they went. They left they left the spaceship.
Yes, at the very end, it's just the captain and the communications officer. They're the only two people on board. It's Adam and Eve. Like that's what they were trying to do. Like they're the only two humans still alive. She's pregnant with a kid, and they're going back to X13 or whatever.
Clearly, I missed that whole part.
Okay.
Well, it's
All
all
right.
right. It's all right.
Okay. I
You
think that
guys
you
can
probably
tell
also
how much. You guys can tell how much I was into this movie.
I
Like,
think that you probably also missed this part, which was my favorite part of the movie. It's revealed that the communications officer is the daughter of George Clooney's love interest. Did you catch that?
well, it's revealed that Iris is Iris.
Yeah. Okay, but I was getting there. Iris is the daughter of his love interest, his old love interest, and it's
Yeah.
debatable whether or not it's his daughter. It totally
Right.
could be.
Right.
I think it is his
But
daughter.
basically, the girl that doesn't talk.
She's a figment of his imagination. She's not actually there.
Right.
Yeah. She is the long lost daughter that he'd never had a relationship with.
But she is the one that's on Ether.
Yeah, she's pregnant on the spaceship with her boyfriend slash captain, right? And so while they're talking, that's revealed, and he's like, "I know who you are. It's nice to finally meet you, Iris." Um, and so I thought that was pretty cool that the whole time he was just fucking crazy and he wasn't actually with this little girl. He was just like he was really regretting his decisions and not having a relationship with his daughter and not having a relationship with his love interest. And I think it was kind of cool that he got that moment to say hello to her.
Yeah.
And then goodbye.
Yeah.
But he's kind of a piece of shit. Like, I don't know. Like he didn't he's kind of a piece of shit.
Dude, honestly, this whole movie, I was like, dude, I don't know. I just like it was what I thought it was gonna be. Like, I don't know, like it wasn't anything special. Like it was shot beautifully, like it looked really cool, especially the scenes in space and the scenes like in the snow. Like when he was in the snow and he loses the girl for a second.
Yeah, that part was fucking crazy. That was really good. And the blizzard.
I thought that looked really cool, but overall, I did not like the movie. Like,
yeah, I mean, I know where you're coming from. I get it, and I think I'm biased because sci-fi is my favorite genre, but I like sci-fi horror. Like Alien is my favorite movie, so like this was not really a horror movie. It was more of like a mystery sci-fi. I also wish that they told us what this global cataclysm was because like they didn't ever reveal anything.
No,
And
yeah,
like
they never told us.
there's that one scene with like the birds up in
Yeah,
the
where they're
North
all
Pole.
like dying. Yeah,
They
there's
wouldn't have
one
made
scene
it.
where George Clooney goes out.
They wouldn't have made it that far. Like the
Yeah,
crows, those crows, they wouldn't have made it that far into the North Pole. Like they would have. It's
yeah.
not
There's
possible.
one scene where George Clooney goes out of his space or his Arctic pod or home,
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then all these crows are like dying on the ground.
It's not a thing, but okay.
I was
It could
like,
have been that he's crazy. Like everything that like was unexplainable could be explained with that he went fucking crazy by being alone for
right,
so long.
true.
I thought the credits were also pretty fucking hilarious. Like
Oh
you
my
said, you were
god!
laughing at the
I even
credits.
said that. I was like, what the fuck?
So yeah, so like at the very end, like George Clooney can't like it's clear he's gonna die, and he's like dying,
Yeah, he's gonna
and then
stay
like
on Earth and he's gonna die.
and they lose communication, and then it's just the communications officer, his daughter, and then
Iris.
Iris, yeah, and then the captain, and they're click clacking away, like they're on like the spaceship, like click clacking, and it's just like the credits are rolling like in front of them, and then like she's just still there, and she's still click clacking, and then like the captain like gets up and fucking leaves, and then she's just still there, and then it's done.
Yeah. So yeah, they're like, it's one of those credits where it's
it was dumb.
like it's like a scene of the movie, and then all of a sudden it's the end of the movie, and she's
We
like
also like
click clacking on the fucking keyboard of the spaceship.
what
And then,
I agree with you, dude. It didn't really deliver at the very end. It was and like they didn't really ever like even if the captain and the communications officer made it back to X-13, like humanity isn't going to survive. It's over, you know.
right.
Adam and Eve is like a biblical concept that wouldn't work because it would just be incest, and then we like it just wouldn't work. What would happen is that she would have to have kids, and then either she fucks the kids or the dad fucks the kids or the kids fuck each other, and it's like that's the logical. If you go to the logic, I'm sorry I had to say that, but if you go to the logical conclusion of if they make it back, there's some incest. That's just what it is if the humanity survives.
Yeah. So basically, if you guys didn't get that, they're on their way back to X-13 or whatever, the planet, to
The moon
start
of
a new
Jupiter.
colony of
Yeah.
humans.
But it's just it's Adam and Eve. It's the communications officer and the captain, and then she's pregnant with a baby, right? So
If she's gonna have a kid, that kid will
yeah.
probably die.
But even if it survives, like there's gonna like they have to the incest, you know, like it's weird, dude. I don't know. Unless like they have some cloning capabilities that they didn't explain, but they didn't ever talk about that. Like that's why I
Right,
was like, dude, they could have explained that they had embryos on board or something, you know,
right,
something.
right.
And like the whole ending was trying to be like super poetic that like the dad who worked himself to death and like neglected his whole life, like it actually panned out into something cool because his daughter got to experience his dreams of seeing this planet, you know, like that's like kind of how it ended, like that's how their communications ended. Like she was like describing this moon of Jupiter to him, and he's
Well,
like,
it
oh my
was
god,
beautiful because they
it was
showed.
beautiful for sure, but like I don't know, man. Like the and they like the thing that really gets me is they could have really like actually made it a world that keeps going and doesn't have to end in incest by saying there's embryos on board and we're going to repopulate this planet with people, you know, that aren't just me and this guy. It just didn't, I don't know, it didn't really deliver at the very end.
Yeah, honestly, I give this one a 2.5 out of 5.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I maybe I might be the more harsher reviewer here. Like on the last one, I should have given it a 3.5. The last one,
I gave it 3.5,
I know
right?
you did. I know you did. I should have done that. But
I
this
mean, dude, honestly, I agree with you. It was 2.5 because
two point five out of 5,
it was a very good ride, but at the very end, I was like, this is fucking dumb
dude.
because it was just dumb. Like it
The
just and
whole yeah, the whole time I was like, it just seemed like, okay, I'm George Clooney and I'm sad and I'm
mhm.
like,
I'm all
it
alone.
looked cool. The movie looked really cool and it was shot very well, like in terms of
Yep,
CGI. Like it looked super, like that spacewalk scene was my
was
favorite scene.
crazy good.
That was my favorite
Mhm.
scene of the movie, but it was like also on the other end, it was like, okay, like when they were doing the spacewalk scene, I was like, okay, so when are the asteroids coming or something? Like I knew shit was
Yeah,
gonna
for
happen,
real. Yeah, it was
you
pretty. It was
know?
pretty. It was pretty predictable. And like the very end to me, like I was like, okay, cool, what's gonna happen? And then like they didn't deliver at the very end, and especially like it would have been maybe they were sticking really close to the book, which might have been written more poetically, but like they there was easy fixes to make it a world that continued without it being weird at the very end. Like one of the fixes could be the two crewmates who went on the reentry pod back. They could have stayed. They could have
Right.
stayed on the ship. Which honestly, like the family man guy who was like, I have to go back because I promised my family I would come back. They're dead,
They're
bro.
fucking dead though. That's why I was
Yeah,
like, wait, yeah,
they're dead. They're dead. And even if there's underground somewhere, which they say literally in one sentence, George Clooney is like, people are underground right now, but it's only temporary. Even if they were alive and underground, one, he can't land anywhere, which is revealed. And two, there's no way he'd be able to find this underground place. So it's fucking dumb. It was stupid. I was like, okay. And the captain was like, cool, I sign off on this. Good luck. What? Like you guys are like the last five people alive in the whole fucking solar system, you know? Like
humans,
you're
yeah,
just gonna yeah, I don't get it. It didn't make sense to me. It was
yeah.
stupid.
I honestly, I was not a fan.
I
Like,
only gave it 2.5 because it was a good ride and it was shot very beautifully. You know,
yeah,
that's
like it was, yeah, it was about what I thought. Like, it didn't really. And you know me, like I'm not a big like I like sci-fi, but like
it's not your favorite. I
not my
understand.
favorite. Like I hated Gravity. Like I
Yeah, I
didn't.
did too. Gravity fucking sucked. If you like Gravity, you don't. Yeah, I don't understand. It was
I
horrible.
hated Gravity. I did not do. Yeah, I did not like this movie really. I'm just trying to.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of what else I did not like about it, other than that it was
It didn't really deliver.
Dude, the
The
movie,
end.
I didn't like it, but it went by really fast.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm George Clooney. I'm sad. I'm doing this, and then they had the flashbacks, and then he was just looking around to find a better.
I mean, yeah, like to be fair, like the thing I liked about it is like each of the two, like George Clooney with the beard, and then the people on the spaceship coming back, they each had very clear missions and directives. They each like had very clear, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it, right? But then at the very end, all that went away. None of it made sense. There wasn't a
Well, they
clear
didn't. They
motive for
didn't. They didn't
anybody.
accomplish anything. It was just like, okay, now you need to go back to the fucking Jupiter moon, and I was just like, all
Uh-huh.
right,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
and that was all it
Yeah,
was.
and there wasn't a clear mission or motive anymore because it was just two people and a baby. Like they're not going to continue humanity, you know?
Right.
I don't and like
I mean,
that they were
obviously the idea was to like believe that they were gonna start a new human race there,
but how?
but like,
Yeah, if you lead it to the logical conclusion, it doesn't fucking work, and it's just incest. And it could have been solved we're talking in circles. It could have been solved so easily with like literally a sentence at like we have embryos on board. That's it.
honestly, I was hoping for more. Like, they could have. I don't know. Like, this movie had the potential to be like really dope, like in some ways. Like,
Yep.
they could have made it more like post-apocalyptic-y, where like they could have fought off wolves more. Like they were like show they would.
I appreciated that they didn't do that. I don't like that trope in the Arctic because that's not how wolves actually act. So,
Okay, you know, you're right, but like, I don't know. It's just
like that Liam Neeson movie where he's in the snow.
which I like that movie.
I like it too, but like that the whole wolf scene is fucking dumb. Like that's not how wolves
Yeah, the
act.
whole movie is him fighting wolves.
Yeah, and it's also yeah, it leads to a negative connotation of wolves, which I don't think is justified. But
Okay,
I would have appreciated if they actually showed the world and what happened, as opposed to just George Clooney in
dude,
the
I'm
Arctic.
honestly not mad that they didn't do that. I know, like,
I am.
we might differ on that point, but
I'm mad. I wanted to know.
yeah, you want like for me, I was just like, oh, something fucking happened, and now it's
I
George.
feel like I honestly feel like they literally just did like the global catastrophe just for cool shots, like the crows dying in the snow, and then when they come back to Earth and it like just looks like shit, but they never explained what actually happened. That was my issue, is that
Yeah.
like it didn't add up to anything. It was just like we didn't know
Dude,
the cause, we just knew the effect.
yeah,
And we didn't even know like the full extent of the effect. We just know that it wasn't habitable and that it's
right.
over on Earth,
And they has
you
to
know?
wear like a gas mask when he goes outside.
Yeah, but like it's
But
just
then
cool shots,
then
dude.
like 30 minutes later, he doesn't have to wear it, which I was confused by. Did you
Yeah,
catch
there was some
that?
plot. I did catch that. There were some plot holes. And like that's the thing that could have been explained if they told us what the fuck the mask was for or what the fuck actually happened.
Yeah,
Then
they were both wearing like the him and Iris, the little girl, were both
who
wearing
wasn't
masks.
actually there
Yeah, who wasn't actually there, but they were both wearing masks. Like at
when
the
they
beginning
left.
when they
Yeah.
left to go find the thing, and then like next thing
They
I
like
know, maybe I missed it, but
no, you didn't miss it, dude. Yeah, they weren't wearing yeah, I'm with
next
you.
thing I know, they were not wearing masks, and I was like, what the fuck?
I'm with you, dude. That was weird.
But it is
So
kind of
yeah,
crazy to think about, like that it was George Clooney alone in a blizzard. Like,
yeah, that actually, yeah, like you're right. I hadn't thought about that. Like, if you think like I'm not gonna rewatch this movie, but if you did, it would be kind of cool to like imagine him just literally talking to himself,
and just
you
like
know,
totally alone in the Arctic in a
and
blizzard,
fucking
like
hallucinate and like
hallucinating.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, dude. I think we're done with this
Okay.
one.
Yeah. Final reviews. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 buds.
Same. Yeah, I'm with you. I
2.5
mean,
out of 5 buds.
if you like sci-fi, you should watch it just because it's shot really well and like the space
Dude, but it
scenes are
was
pretty
like
cool.
the
The
space
the,
scene was
the
like 10 minutes of the shit, and the
You're
rest
right.
was like not even like I was
You're
hoping for
right.
more space stuff. Like, it was sci-fi, but
I agree.
it
I
wasn't
also I
very.
also dude like yeah, no, okay, like this is the last thing I'm gonna say and then we're done. Um or I'm done at least. you're right. Like they could have had more space shit and less sad George Clooney because like I would have liked to have seen this moon of Jupiter more than just like 5 seconds. It was I
Right.
think it was
It was
maybe
like
a
five
minute.
seconds. It was her in a in a dream in the beginning.
Yeah,
She
maybe a minute tops of her on the planet. That was it.
yeah.
And then it was the rest. They were on the spaceship. I wanted to see more.
I wanted to see more of that too. And
Mm-hmm.
let me talk to you about the spaceship itself. I was like, why does it look like that? Like it looked like an alien spaceship, bro. Like you
Well, I
saw
mean, it
it.
is. Yeah, no, I did see it. I mean, it is 30 years in the future, and like also, if you like, neither of us are astrophysicists, so like, it's not. I don't know if it was like correct. I don't know if it. I don't know. I do know that I've seen like those big fans like in NASA videos, like the and also like the spinny thing. That's definitely a thing. That's part of the space station.
Okay. That yeah.
Like the spinny thing, like what, like you know how like she went up the ladder and then like around, like that's a thing. That's I mean it's theoretically a thing. I'm pretty sure. Like that's how you simulate gravity
Right.
in space is you spin shit, right?
Dude, but low key, when I was watching this, I was like, damn, I could have been an astronaut. Like, why did I not do
Yeah, I don't think they're accepting us.
that? Anyways, okay, everybody.
Yeah,
Thanks for
so
bearing with us. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 once
two
again.
point same here. Yeah. And now Tyler, what is the movie that we're gonna watch next week?
The new movie we're gonna watch this week coming up is Tom and Jerry. The
The
new
movie?
Tom and Jerry animated slash
Is it a movie?
yeah, the new one. The new one
Dude,
that's
fuck yeah.
yeah,
That's
Tom and
awesome.
Jerry.
Good call.
But it might not be released, so you might have to find it online, but it's coming out like this week, so we'll both find it. Yeah, the new Tom
Yeah.
and Jerry. So they're like Tom and Jerry in like with Chloe Grace Moretz or what however you say her name,
Smollett.
which I love her. I love
Mm-hmm.
Chloe. Chloe
She's pretty
Grace.
cool.
You know her?
Smollett. I do know her.
Chloe Grace
She,
Moretz. She's like
yeah.
24. Yeah, yeah. She's like a year younger than us. Yeah, we're gonna watch
Um.
that. We're gonna watch new Tom and Jerry.
Okay. You know how I suggested before I knew it was a show that we should watch the Free Britney documentary?
Dude, I heard it was good. My friends last night were telling me.
It's fantastic. You should definitely watch it. It's so good.
I heard it was really good.
It's really good.
Spears. Also they released the trailer for the new the Justice League,
Oh yeah, like the whatever cut with
like the 4 hour movie. Like
yeah with
I think they reshot a lot of it. It's gonna be R-rated.
yeah, and like Jared Leto's back as the Joker.
Dude, I don't know. I hope it might be good, bro.
It might be good, but like him and the Joker of fucking Suicide Squad, that was fucking horrible. Ha
I know,
ha ha.
but
That was his fucking
I'm
laugh.
glad they're giving him a second chance and that they're doing this movie. Like
I'm
'cause I
not,
do
but I'll give it a chance. I'm not happy that they gave him a second chance.
dude, I did
I
not
like why did like Joaquin Phoenix was a way better Joker. Just
yeah, but
hands down.
that was like a side story. That was like an origin story.
I know, but I
Dude,
think
I
he
low key might watch that shit right now.
is
The
it out?
no, the Joker,
Oh
like
yeah.
Joaquin.
Okay, I think we're done. Like let's stop recording and then we can keep
I think
talking
we're
for a
done.
little bit.
Okay, everybody. See you
Thanks
next
for
week for our Tom and Jerry movie review.
yeah, thanks for joining us this week and bearing with us. Yeah, it was
We're
fun and
honing in on this craft week by week. It'll get better and better.
yeah,
Um,
and I like I think by the 10th video we're gonna stop saying we're figuring it out. But until that 10th video, we're figuring it out. Okay,
Two
so
Buds movie reviews, bitches.
catch you on the flip flop.
Catch you on the flip flop. Tom and Jerry movie review next week. See ya.